6 wins in a row, 5 of them via submission. All 5 of those submissions, by the way, are by rear naked choke. We may just have the master of the rear naked choke in the UFC. Brendan Allen extends his win streak, gets a big win over the number 13 ranked middleweight Paul Craig, formerly top 10 ranked light heavyweight, and now he will look to, come Tuesday morning, be a legitimate player amongst the middleweights. He came into this weekend at number 10. Where might he find himself on Tuesday morning? Let's talk about that and what we got to see in the cage on Saturday night. We really have to start talking about Brendan Allen being amongst the elite in the middleweight division. Say what you will about the win streak. I saw a lot of people kind of throwing some shade around. Obviously, there are people such as myself that would give him his flowers like I am here. And then people would respond back saying, well, he's beating cans, if you will. I get it. The win streak isn't anything that crazy, but for a guy that has just gotten to number 10 in the division, it's a pretty good win streak, and it makes sense for where his current standing is as he continues to move up. The competition is going to get harder. It obviously started in February of 2022. He beat Sam Alvey, Jacob Malkoun, Christoph Jotko, who's now in the PFL, Andre Muniz on a short notice main event opportunity, Bruno Silva, and now Paul Craig. It's not that weak of a win streak, especially when you look at those latter three with Andre, Bruno, and Paul Craig on Saturday night. And it's been ultra impressive. Brennan is getting all of these submission victories, but he's not someone that just has to rely upon his grappling as much as like maybe the stats may say. He seems to be very well polished and at least comfortable and competent in all other areas of his fight game. At 27 years old, he's 23-5, 11-2 in the UFC, 13 fights since joining at the end of 2019. So he's always been super active, 3 fights a year. The only losses in his career in the UFC were to Sean Strickland, the now middleweight champion, which was short notice and I believe up a weight class at light heavyweight. And then he lost to Chris Curtis at the tail end of 2021. Other than that, he's been pretty much flawless and now finds himself on this win streak. Paul Craig, it's tough to see him go down here because this was just a dominant one-sided traffic type performance from Brendan Allen. He, came in earlier this year, debuted at 185 against Andre Muniz, got a TKO victory. He seems to fit well at 185 pounds. Doesn't seem to be draining himself. He was never a huge light heavyweight. So Paul Craig now finds himself 1-1 through 2 fights in the weight class as we head into 2024. Probably looking to get 2 or 3 fights in next year. He's been a pretty active fighter in his own right ever since joining the company. I don't quite know what the ceiling may be because obviously I believe highly in Brendan Allen. So it's not like this is a bad loss, if you will, for Paul Craig or detrimental to his future. But I think it at least poses some questions because we've seen it time and time again now where it seems if Paul Craig can't get you down and submit you, he's very much or finish you at least on the ground, I should say, because he did finish Andre Muniz via TKO, but it was on the ground. If he can't get you down there and do damage where he feels most comfortable, he's in for a long night in a lot of these fights where he can't get his opponents to the ground, such as this one against Brendan Allen, such as against Volkan Oezdemir. So it's definitely a weird spot for Paul Craig. He is in a division now that is a little bit, I don't know, middleweight and light heavyweight, both of the divisions he's competed in aren't the deepest. Light heavyweight has been improving over the last couple of years, which is good. Middleweight is at least fresh at the top now with all the new championship stuff going down, but a lot of the ranked fighters are still pretty much the same for the most part. So we'll see what he can do. I believe he's 35 years old, so it's not like it's the end of the road just yet. But in order for him to really make a legitimate run into contendership status, which is where Brendan Allen now finds himself, it would take a lot of polishing. And I just don't believe that at 35 he can make those proper, steps because there just may not be enough time left in the career. So we'll see what comes next for the man that hails from Scotland, Paul Craig. And for Brendan Allen, what's next could be a pretty fun discussion. So coming off this win with 6 straight victories now, a plethora of them by submission, Brendan Allen is in a very good spot at 27 years old, just now about to enter into those prime years, which is pretty incredible to have this win streak as you're just about to hit your stride in terms of your physical prime and capabilities. Number 10 right now, come Tuesday, maybe he hopscotches one spot over Jack Hermanson to number 9. I don't see them putting him above Hamzat, who finds himself at number 8 right now. So what could be next for number 9/10 ranked Brendan Allen right now at middleweight with the current layout of the division? Well, we did find out that Roman Dolidze is going to fight Nasruddin Imavov. I believe that's going to be February 3rd, potential main event on a fight night card, which is number 7 versus number 12. To me, the answer is pretty clear. It's a guy that we haven't seen in a little bit. It's the number 5 ranked Marvin Vettori. Marvin is one of the better grapplers in the division, probably one of the best now that Derek Brunson is out in terms of pure like wrestling. And Brendan Allen has pretty much shown that he's a Swiss Army knife, but thrives on the ground with his submissions and his transitions. And he just is so comfortable down there. Marvin could look to take him down and utilize his strength in that fight, but I would think Marvin would want to predominantly keep that on the feet, keep it standing. So if we were to get that over the course of 25 minutes, Brendan would really find himself being tested more on the feet than we have seen in the past few fights. It wouldn't come as easy as some of these fights. I think that is absolutely the fight to make. Number 5 ranked Vettori versus Brendan Allen, who's currently number 10, could hopscotch 1 or 2 spots come Tuesday morning. I think that's a great fight. Make it a main event on a fight night card over the course of 25 minutes. Brendan gets a win there. That's 7 in a row, cracks into the top 5. And for Vettori, be a good spot for him to get a big win over someone who is surging right now. Put a little bit more pep in his step, a little bit more momentum on the side of Marvin Vettori because it's been a little bit stagnant over the past few years. He's had big wins. He did lose a title fight, though, with Israel Adesanya. He's had a crazy fight with Paulo Costa. And he has had a little bit of a layoff, which is probably good. He's had some tough fights over the most recent stretch of his career. So whenever he's ready, sometime in the first quarter of 2024, January, February, March, I'd love to see Vettori versus Brendan Allen next. So that's all for the UFC Vegas 82 main event. Let me know what you think should be next for Brendan Allen. 6-fight win streak, 5 of those by submission. He gets a big win over Paul Craig. Are you kind of believing in the hype now? Were you a little hesitant coming in? Now you saw this performance and you're kind of all on board? Or do you want to see him against a contender such as the previously mentioned Marvin Vettori or someone else? Let me know if you have another matchup in mind for what makes sense for Brendan Allen. I'm a believer in the guy. I have been for quite some time, but he's really turning the corner right now in his career, and it's exciting to see where he may just take this thing at 185 pounds. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss recaps like these, previews, fight news, and MMA announcements, all the like. And I'll see you this upcoming week. It's Thanksgiving week, but going to try my best to get out a preview and recap for the PFL championships. Yes, the PFL's back. All their title fights, Kayla Harrison's return after a year layoff. It's going to be fun to talk about those as we get into this holiday season. Catch you guys there.